here tonight. My name is Terrell Hartke. I am the 12th grade assistant principal at Hazen High School, and I know that life is getting crazy, so taking 45 minutes out of your weeknight to attend is so appreciated. Please, if you have questions as we go, type them in the chat, and we have other administrators and counselors who can answer them for you, and we'll also do an open Q&A session at the end. So please let us know what you want to know so that you get as much out of this presentation as you can. And I wanted to talk about our agenda for tonight. We'll try to keep it snappy. So we're going to go over your go-to people if you have questions. Also, Mr. Creeley is here. He's one of our counselors to talk about graduation requirements, financial aid, and how to get other resources you might need in this time of COVID. We also will hear from Quan Nguyen, who is our Career Center Specialist. Then I'll get into yearbooks, senior photos, buying senior ads, the little bit that we know about graduation, and how to get involved at Hazen and not miss anything. I wanted to show you this picture. This is the graduation announcement that we've chosen for the class of 2021. So we are, full steam ahead with our as many graduation festivities and traditions as we can, and announcements are one of those, and we'll talk later about how to order those and caps and gowns. So you are probably familiar already with your Hazen administrative team, but it's always nice to see our faces. So again, I'm Terrell Hartke, and you might know me from the last 2 years through my work with 9th graders and also ASB. And on the call, we also have Ashley Gambrill. Ashley, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ashley Gambrill. I'm another assistant principal at Hazen, and this is my 6th year in the Renton School District. So some of you, I may have had your student in PE as a freshman and then as a dean of students. So I'm really glad to be here. And I'm working specifically with 9th grade this year and also ASB. So really glad to have you.
Thank you. And we also have Travis Zavala with us. Go ahead, Travis.
Hi, everybody. I'm Travis Zavala, and this year I'm the Dean of Students. You may know me better in my previous life, the past 11 years, as a math teacher. There's a pretty darn good chance that I had one of your students for Algebra 1 or Algebra 2. So I'm happy to be here tonight and excited to support you all and your seniors.
And Travis is new to our team. He's such a great addition. Thanks for being here with us. And we're going to transition over to your contact list. So I know that a big comprehensive high school can be hard to navigate, and with people changing roles all the time. So if you have questions about certain topics, here are your go-to people. Not only do I work with 12th grade, but also anything related to AP, SAT, PSAT, anything testing related. That's under my umbrella. If you have questions about athletics or 10th and 11th grade matters, you're going to talk to Harland Warrior. Ashley, like she said, covers 9th grade and also is our ASB director. Travis is our Dean of Students, so any issues you have around discipline, attendance, or resources that you might need, he's a great resource for you. You're probably going to have questions later this year about transcripts and academic records, so you'll talk to Jasmine Andrews about that in our counseling office. And if you have attendance questions, Suzanne Jacobs is our attendance specialist. And then, of course, your school counselors are such a great resource for any academic or personal concerns that you may be struggling with as a senior. And finally, Quan Nguyen, who we'll hear from later, is our Career Center Specialist. Without further ado, Mr. Creeley, tell us all about the counseling department.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Creeley, one of the counselors at Hazen. And I'm glad everyone's here and showing up for this on a cold night. So this is really during these times of COVID and being at home. The website is a huge resource for many things, but specifically about the counseling department. This is the main way to get a hold of your student counselor. So you can see under counseling staff the counselor's names, and then the alphabets that they serve, and then you can click on there for an appointment request, and then you can see when we're available, what works with your time, or you can just email us directly. So this is the main hub for a lot of different things. So you can also find a lot of answers to different questions about graduation, kind of like the tabs on the left there, registration, community service, graduation requirements, so different documents that you need for your students to document their community service hours and who to send it to, graduation requirements, which we're going to go over in a little bit. We're requesting transcripts, so we have a lot of seniors doing that, unofficial and official. So Miss Andrews, Jasmine Andrews, is the person to reach out to, and her name is in the, how do I get a transcript, and you can just click it and it'll show up or show her email. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. So if you have questions about counseling, how to get a hold of us, just really go to the Hazen website and go to the counseling page and poke around if you want to. There's lots of information. We try to keep it up to date and pertinent information that's important for families and students to access. So really, this is really important, and this is a big part of the counselor's job. It's a main part of it for seniors, of course, and we really take it seriously, and it really is important to us, of course, to get your seniors graduated this year. And so this is the credits they need to gain to get there. So they have to have 4 credits of language arts, 3 credits of social studies, 3 credits of math, 3 credits of science, 1.5 of PE, and then the half of health. And then they have to have 1 credit of fine arts and a credit of career and tech class. And then there's some flexible credits on the other side. So 9 credits that are a little bit flexible. So 6 of those are the electives on the bottom. They get to kind of pick and choose what they want. Oftentimes students are taking another credit of fine arts and then 2 credits of the same world language. And that enables the students to be eligible for a 4-year college right out of the gate. And so then if a student knows they're not going to go to a 4-year college, or they have a different pathway, that credit of fine arts and the 2 credits of world language are flexible. And so they kind of go into different courses that are their area of interest or things that they're interested about their career. So the magic number is 26. And so that's what we're continually tracking. We all have spreadsheets that are tracking what classes your students are taking. And then after every trimester, we really comb over, who passed, who didn't, and then kind of problem solve from there. So that's really, if you haven't heard from us, that's no news is good news. If we know that your senior is in trouble or that they're at risk, you should have heard from your counselor by now for sure. And oftentimes we contact those families in junior year as well. So a little bit more difficult this year, but we definitely try to do that. So again, no news is good news. And again, you can, when in doubt, you can just reach out to us and ask the question. And I know that senior year is high anxiety for lots of people, and us too. It's it's lots of pressure, and it's important, and it's exciting, and we have more stressors during COVID, of course. So really, that's the main message is to reach out if you have questions. So there's some other graduation requirements. So the high school and beyond plan is all done through career cruising, and that's going to be completed through the students' homerooms, and they do that. They meet every Monday, and they meet every so often during the week as well. So they'll have plenty of time to get those done, and they've been working on those for the last couple of years. So they shouldn't be starting from scratch, hopefully. And so again, if you have questions about that, reach out to their homeroom teacher. And then the graduation pathway requirement. So the state switched up this language, which is, I think it makes it more confusing for everyone, me included. But basically this is the Smarter Balance Math and Smarter Balance English that students have to take. but now there's many other things that they can do to meet that requirement. So they can use SAT, not necessarily this year, and then they can take certain classes that count for that. There's just a multitude of different things. If a student does Running Start and takes an English class or a math class, that can count. So there's many things that can count for that. And again, if your student has not met those pathways, you should have heard from your counselor by now. And we comb through those students, and they're in the places they need to be to meet that pathway for sure. So, and then I mentioned this earlier, but the 20 hours of community service. So you just go to the Hazen webpage, counseling community service, and that's has all the information you need to know. And yeah, 20 hours is the magic number. And it's stored in Skyward. So once they send it into the person and they hit the the send button on the email, we put that in pretty quickly, and then it just gets stored in Skyward. So it's safe there. So this is kind of the magic question as far as, last year the state made some exceptions for graduation and different things, and they have started off this year not. So it's technically like they are treating it like a normal year as far as all the graduation requirements and everything like that. So we won't know until January, which is really frustrating for us, but it just kind of is what it is. And so we just got to act as if nothing's different, and then we'll let you know if something changes really. And we're doing, all of us are working hard to, teachers included, to get these students graduated and get them where they need to be. Yeah. So financial aid, money for college, which is super important because it's very expensive. So that we are working hard as a team, counseling team, admin team, career counseling team, to really set your students up for success with this, because it's daunting, it's a little scary, but once you get started, I think it like everything, I think it usually is not as scary as we think. So homeroom lessons that have already transpired on the 19th and the 26th are getting your students ready for filling out their financial aid application, FAFSA or WASFA, and then there's going to be one on the 2nd of November as well. And so that's really, really important to encourage your students to attend, I guess, the one on the 2nd, and then ask them about the 19th and 26th. What did you talk about? And what did you learn? And what did you do? So, and then we're going to attempt to, last year we did the counseling team and career office put on an event called the Money Grab. And so it was basically an event to help students with navigating the financial aid process. And so this year we're going to try to do it virtually. And so it's this Friday. It's going to be via Zoom. And really I think the most important thing I want to highlight is that we last year we invited financial aid experts from the different Bellevue College, Renton Technical College, and Green River College. And so they're going to be coming out, and so they'll be available in breakout rooms to help your students individually and in groups to kind of sort out different questions they have. So we're really excited. They're really excited to be there. Please, we've been promoting it with the students, but please encourage your students to attend. Again, it's this Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And they can pop in, they can pop out, they can pop back in. That's really, it's kind of an open door policy, which is great. And then we also are going to do a family night for financial aid as well. And again, we invited those same representatives because they're passionate about financial aid, and they know how important it is. And then we'll also have translators in Spanish and Vietnamese. So that's really nice to have that. So that's 6 to 8 on Thursday, November 5th. And that's the Zoom link there. And we'll be sending out information about that and how to access that. But we're really excited. We're hoping that, students show up this Friday and hope parents show up as well. I don't see here. There we go. Okay. Oh, and then students can also schedule individual appointments with their the school counselor or your career specialist to get help with the financial aid process. We know it's difficult, and it's sometimes it's hard to navigate. So that's what we're offering to you all and the students. So this is kind of to hit if, again, we know that this is challenging times for lots of people, me included. It's, it's weird. We're living in a weird world, and we're just doing the best we can. We know that, and we respect the families and students and how they're dealing with it. So we know that a lot of families need resources. So really, the main message is to reach out. And so I guess kind of when I partially made this slide, if your urgent is if your need is urgent, please email, call. There's not as many people to reach on the phone, but email as many people as you want to until you get a response, because that's kind of how we work. Like if we see an email that needs to go someone else, we forward it, and like we really take care of those families that need help. So please reach out, and then also the counselors can help. Anybody can help, but the counselors can really help with like mental health support too, if you need referrals for counseling agencies, and especially if you have Medicaid insurance, it just opens the door for more referrals for us. Otherwise, if you have private insurance, you just call them and call the number on the back of your card. And then there's also a line, if you dial 211 on your phone, you can actually also Google this, and 211, they have a huge list of resources, rent support, help with internet, help with electrical, bills, things like that. So that's a huge resource, but when in doubt, please reach out. That's the main message. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Creeley. I just wanted to let you all know, our counselors are the best in the Renton School District, and they also have the largest caseload in the Renton School District. And coming to Hazen, I was absolutely amazed by their depth of knowledge. And when they say that they keep a spreadsheet on your students, they mean down to the credit and down to the test requirement. I was pretty blown away when I got a hold of those spreadsheets. Thank you for counseling team for all of your work that you do.
Brian, a couple questions from the chat.
Okay.
First one, what's the difference between the money grab and the financial aid workshops?
The one, so the money grab is just kind of a finite, just kind of a one-time, or I guess a two-time thing. We're going to do the one on this Friday and then on Thursday the 5th. And then what are the workshops that I don't see.
I think that's referring to the Career Center financial aid workshops that Quan is going to put on, and he'll be next. So
okay, so you can
definitely talk a bit more in a little bit regarding that.
Second question from the chat. What is the number of required hours for community service, and is tutoring a younger sibling considered for these hours?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. So 20 hours is the magic number for that. And then really we're telling students and families, because we want you all to be safe. I should have mentioned this earlier. We want you all to be safe and your students to be safe. So really we're the door is wide open. So really we're saying if the students are helping someone out and tutoring a younger sibling is fantastic. I mean, that's amazing that they're doing that. You should be proud of your student. And I guess I think I talked to Gideon about that and I gave him lots of props. So if they're helping someone out, they're not getting paid, they're not getting credit for school, the answer is yes. So it's very wide. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah.
So Mr. Nguyen, you are up next talking about your Career Center options and resources that you have.
Hi, everyone. My name is Quan Nguyen. I'm the College and Career Specialist at Hazen. I've been here for quite a few years. So if I might have work with some of your students or the older students that came through Hazen, but the Career Center this year is providing a lot of resources for students virtually. We are hoping to connect students with a lot of college representatives, and helping them basically to explore the post-secondary options. And when we talk about that, it covers apprenticeship, military, working, colleges, vocational schools, anything that they feel like is the right pathway for them. And this is where the Career Center comes in. We're hoping to put in on a lot of presentations from a lot of these different organizations, different colleges, and even bring in professionals um, in the working world to actually talk with their students about their career pathway and give them pointers on how to pursue their career that they're interested in. So if you have students who are really interested in a particular career, please have them feel free to reach out to me, shoot me an email to let me know about that, because I'm always on the lookout to bring in a lot of professionals to really connect with students in that way. Um, your students should have received an email and also an invitation to our Canvas page. Please do have them take a look at the Canvas page and also access the Canvas page as much as possible. On the Canvas page, it's going to be another addition to our current Career Center page, where it has a lot of information from apprenticeship, from community service hours, and even places that they can actually volunteer currently. So a lot of this information is going to be on both the Career Center and the Canvas page. Scholarships, upcoming events is going to be go out. It's going to go out to a lot of students via both websites. So if they haven't accepted the invitation to the course, please encourage them to do so. I'll be rolling out a lot of announcements for a lot of these events, and a lot of these opportunities for students to take advantage of. Um, 'Cause as of right now, we are working to really updating both sites to incorporate a lot more information. So if there's anything that's missing on the site that you would like to see or would like to have more information about, feel free to reach out. We'll try our best to really update the website and keep it up to date with the most information as possible. And to elaborate a little bit more on a couple of events that we have coming up within the Career Center and the counseling team, the Money Grab is an event where we're focusing on guiding students through the financial aid application step by step. And the evening event on November 5th is mainly geared towards the parents. And that is more kind of like an overview of helping students understand a little bit more about what financial aid really is and how that can really benefit your students and your family, and kind of just alleviate some of that financial burden of attending a post-secondary school option. So the the financial aid workshop is a workshop that is run every single week by me and my college admission representative. So it's a financial aid and a college application event, and it's on Tuesdays and Fridays from 3:30 to 7 p.m. Within those timeframes, students can drop in. They can register online on my Christian website via bookings, and students can drop in and get support and help on the college application from me, from admission counselors, from our local colleges, and even college students who are willing to come back and volunteer to support students in the college application, or even just filling out the financial application and whatnot. So that is more like a weekly event to support students, continue supporting students from October all the way into January. So please have your students take advantage of it. November is going to be a really crazy time due to the fact that a lot of college application due dates is going to be around that time frame. So your students are applying to a lot of colleges. Uh, Encourage them to attend these events, get support from myself and these college representatives to revise and polish and um, fine tune their essays and applications to give them the best chance in getting to the school that they want. Um, if you receive a postcard from the Orange School District, it's on the behalf of my team and the Career Center across the district. We're hosting multiple financial aid events to support students, kind of like just filling out the application as well. So please take advantage of that. And you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can schedule a time frame with me. My sketch is open until 7 p.m. So that you can definitely set a schedule time with me after your working hours. Um, so definitely reach out if you have any questions. I also have open office hours in the evening time for students. If you'd like to join, feel free to, but it's mainly geared towards students during this time in October and November, where it's going to be opening up from 8 p.m. to late in the evening. Students can drop in, get help on the financial application, college application, questions about college, or anything of the sort. So it's just pretty much an open link that students can join in the evening time. And I'll be putting all that information in the chat so you have it. But yeah, we're here to support your students. Feel free to reach out. Any questions, definitely reach out to one of us.
All right, thank you very much. And the Canvas page and website are updated really frequently. And Mr. Nguyen is also responsive on email. So if you have questions, please reach out. Is there anything in the chat regarding this we should cover before we move on? Okay. So moving on to the real fun stuff, which are some senior traditions. I know that kids are super concerned about their senior photos right now, and are we still doing them, and are they going to go in the yearbook? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So senior photos don't have to be professionally done, but they do need to meet certain requirements in order to go into the yearbook, and they're due January 31st. So if you go to the Hazen website, under the For Students tab, you're going to find on the left side information on senior photos and senior ads, which we'll talk about in a minute. But just to show you an example of what a bad senior photo would look like, Gordy here would not make it into the yearbook. And there's a couple of reasons here. One is arms need to be below the waist. You can't wear a costume, obviously, although Gordy doesn't think that's a costume. That's just his real outfit. No props are allowed, obviously no swords, and no full body shots. So please go to the Hazen website, go to the Students tab, and look at the Senior Activities and Graduation page for more information on how to submit a senior photo by January 31st. Also, we are having our 53rd yearbook this year. That's another question that we're getting a lot of is, are we having a yearbook and what's it going to be like? And I have to tell you that our yearbook staff put together one of the most beautiful books I've ever seen last year. And I just grabbed a page to show you how well they honored the class of 2020, even during a pandemic. And so we're expecting a high quality yearbook that is definitely worth purchasing. It'll be $65, and those can be purchased all year long through our district online payment system. Same place that you would pay for an ASB card or an athletic fee, you can pay for it in there. And I talked to Ms. Charles, who was not only our first teacher Highlander of the month for this year, but also just an incredible advisor for our newspaper and our yearbook. And she said she's going to try to get every kid in the yearbook 3 times. So she has set a goal for her. Second is, if you'd like to purchase an ad for yourself or for your student, I said for yourself like you're the student. We don't want parents in the back of our yearbook. You can see the cost there, and the information to do that and to design your own ad is on that same place on the website where you would take your photo. So we're really looking forward to seeing that yearbook this year, number 53. And more festivities for seniors. So we get a lot of questions about graduation and caps and gowns and all that good stuff. We don't have control over the format of our graduation. It'll be June 21st, 2021. And if you have feedback for the district you want to pass on about graduation, you can email Randy Matheson. That is not decided at the school level. But we are asking that students get caps and gowns because we'll have a graduation of some type. And the week of the 12th of October, Jostin sent out order packets for caps, gowns, announcements, other senior gear that they might want to buy. And if you didn't receive that, you can go to their website, jostins.com, and you can still order those items. Also, Jostins will be here with their team this Friday from 3 to 5 in the front parking lot of the school. And the purpose for that visit, they'll take orders in person. They'll answer questions. You can pick up an order packet if you didn't get one. But again, if you didn't see that packet in the mail, it's not the end of the world. You can go to jostens.com. Also, if buying a cap and gown is a financial burden, please contact me at terrell.hartke@rentonschools.us and we can figure out a solution for that. And then I just made a slide called other odds and ends because I couldn't think of a better thing to call it. So it seems timely to talk about the AP test exam purchasing deadline, which is coming up on October 30th at the end of the week. So if your senior is in an AP class and has not signed up for the AP test, they need to do that by the 30th or they will have a $40 late fee. And all tests must be signed up for by mid-November. So if you have questions, contact the AP teacher. And then finally, the SAT update. So initially, we were scheduled to give the SAT to all Hazen seniors on October 14th. And due to COVID, that was postponed. And now it has officially been canceled for seniors because there are so many colleges and other institutions that aren't asking for SAT scores. So we will be offering the SAT and PSAT for the younger grades, but not for the seniors this year because overall they really don't need it. And if you want to know more about specific colleges, you can visit fairtest.org or go to the college webpage and they'll tell you under admissions whether or not the SAT is needed. Are there any questions in the chat you think we should address before we get to our last slide?
Yes, there are.
Okay, go for it.
So back to the photos. If a photo does not meet the requirements, will you let us know so that we can resubmit?
Absolutely. That would be pretty mean if we didn't. So Ms. Charles and her yearbook team will email you and let you know what needs to be amended to get that photo in the yearbook.
There was a question asking for clarification about what is a senior ad exactly?
So in the very back of the yearbook, I wish I had put a picture in there, but I didn't want to put a student's picture without their permission. You can buy various sizes where you can submit a special message from the family. You can do baby pictures. You can do senior pictures, whatever little segment you want to put in there to honor the student. What else do we have, Mr. Savala?
There was a question about the SAT asking, so seniors can't take the SAT at all now, and I know you have an answer for that one.
So students who need to take the SAT can still do that at another location and sign up through the College Board website, but we cannot host it at Hazen. And I think probably the second question that would come up with that, because it did last time, is can we transfer the fee to the student and have it follow them to the other testing location? And the answer is that no, we can't, unfortunately, because through the Race to the Top federal grant, we had funds to pay for all students to take the test at Hazen, and it has to occur at Hazen on that certain date. So those grant funds cannot follow the student.
Hi.
All right, did that cover those? Should we go to our last slide?
One other announcement. If your students qualify for free or reduced lunch, please do reach out to me, as there are a few fee waivers that we can administer to students. Since College Board does have a limit on that, I suggest them to reach out as soon as possible. It's been a constant fight with College Board every year to get more fee waivers. So if your student do qualify for free or reduced lunch, please reach out. I'll do whatever I can to make sure that they'll be able to take the test for free. And they also qualify for free college application fee waivers if they do qualify for the SAT fee waiver as well.
Okay.
One last question from the chat. If some colleges aren't accepting the SAT, is there any benefit to taking the SAT?
Yes, in a way, depending on the college itself. A lot of colleges are test optional or test blind. So I suggest taking a look at the colleges and see which criteria they have for the SAT. If they say it's test blind, they would not take a look at the SAT whatsoever and would not consider the SAT whatsoever on the holistic review. If they are putting test optional, for the most part, if they will specify why they want students to submit their SAT, And generally, that's only if the student scored really high on the SAT to show that they can receive additional scholarships. Not a lot of colleges will accept the SAT and take the SAT into account as a holistic review because of the pandemic. But if your students score really high on the SAT, I do recommend submitting those scores so that they can be reviewed for potential scholarships for the colleges that they're applying to.
That was a lot of information, Mr. Nguyen. Perhaps students with questions could pop into your office hours. Maybe they could go to the Career Center campus page to access that. Okay, all right. On to our last slide, and then we'll get to our question and answer. We're making huge efforts to keep the class of 2021 students and parents well informed this year. So you should be receiving emails from me every couple of weeks. And if you're not receiving those, please let me know so that I can update your address in Skyward. And every 2 weeks, I'm asking the Career Center, counselors, boosters, everybody who may have some information to pass along to get that to me so that I can send out a digest of everything. We're working hard to keep the senior tab on the website updated. And then if you like your information in small memes or snippets, I recommend the Real Hazen HS Instagram, which I generally update while watching Law and Order on my couch. If you want to get involved with all things Hazen and support Hazen, there are 2 organizations I recommend. One is our PTSA, and the other are Hazen Boosters. And I want to take you to their website to show you that there was a class of 2021 senior grad events page where they're going to keep you updated on all events related to the class of 2021. There's a parent Facebook group that you can join. There are parent meetings. There's the Zoom link. There's also apparel that you can purchase. And what's great about this apparel versus the Jostens apparel is more of the funds come directly to Hazen High School. There's a couple of fundraisers going on. One is that our boosters are selling poinsettias and wreaths. Thank you, April, for buying 2. Now through November 1st. And then also there's an online auction going on through the boosters from now through October 30th. And it sounds like they have some pretty good items. So you're going to want to get on there and try to outbid me if possible. Good luck. And finally, if you are just sitting on piles of money and thinking, how can I support students in the Renton School District? Consider donating to the Renton Schools Foundation or Communities in Schools Renton Tukwila. They have been a huge help to us this year in helping our families that are in need. And with that, I'm going to stop our screen share so we can see each other and have some question and answer time. Mr. Savala, are there questions in the chat I should answer for the whole group before I open it up?
There are not.
Oh, all right, way to keep up. Okay, now's the time. We're ready. You could type them in the chat also if you wanted to.
Do you know anything about sports?
I know a lot of things about sports, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to what I think the question's about. As of right now, Renton School District is not allowing athletic teams to get together for practice, and we are waiting for the WIAA to allow games again. And honestly, we're really at the mercy of that COVID dashboard number, which is we have to get below 75 cases per 100,000 in King County to be able to start to reopen schools and get back to sports. Our athletic director, Harland Warrior, would love to give you all sorts of information, although we don't have much to pass on at this point. All right, other questions out loud or in the chat?
Let's see. Who do we ask for questions about future careers or colleges to take? I believe I can answer that. Mr. Nguyen, who is on the meeting tonight. In the Career Center.
And if that's hard to remember, just Google Hazen High School Career Center and it pops right up. He gave that a thumbs up on Zoom. All right, any other questions before we sign off and go about our evenings? All right, I think we're done. Thank you so much for being here tonight and giving up your time. Our whole team at Hazen is happy to help you with any need that you have. Just email one of us and we'll get you to the right person. All right, have a good night.